now Ohio. I would like to thank the Temple of Divine Understanding for inviting us, the Temple of Gaise Culture and Science, to speak with you this morning. And I would like to welcome everyone and thank you for joining us. Fahami.
Fahami.
Ladies and gentlemen, future gods and goddesses, this is a classroom. Pens and papers are welcome. These lectures are for serious-minded individuals who want to grow and improve their quality of lives and to be able to give others what they need to help them grow and improve their quality of life. Please send questions to our Facebook page by email or by text. We will respond within 24 to a 48-hour period. I'm going to present the priest from the temple, from the Fahami Temple of Gaise Culture and Science. But first, let me introduce Fahami to those who are unfamiliar with it. Fahami means divine understanding. It also is the name of the New Negro or Kemite culture, founded on the background of our ancestor worship. Our noble ancestors, ancient and divine, whose wisdom graced the lands of Egypt, Ethiopia, Arabia, Canaan, Chaldea, and the entire Tord zone, the Tord belt of the mystic name Ethiopia. And now, I present the Fahami priest from the Temple of Gaise Culture and Science, Priest Khalid Omar.
Fahami, brothers and sisters.
Fahami.
Pita, Father, Fatiha, Mother, Mahu, Usra, Surah, Hesis, Isis, Hid, Head, Ori, Horse, Il, Amen, El. First, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out and joining us this morning. I'd like to thank the temple, the Fahami Temple of Divine Understanding, for allowing me to be here today. Thank you very much. I'd like to give a special thanks to Ali for kicking me in the butt and saying, hey, come on, man, you gotta do this. Thanks, Ali. The subject here today is actually kind of an extension of a lecture series that was initiated by High Priest Pita Ra called The Need for Culture. The reason he put that lecture series on was because our whole mission evolves around the need for culture. Our prophet was the culture prophet. And what I'm going to try to do here today is I'm going to try to expound upon what the high priest started by telling you why that is so important. And that is why the name of this lecture series that I'm going to begin here today is called The Essence of Culture. Fahami, understand, race and religion goes together. Race and God goes together. Race and language goes together. Race and country goes together. Race and civilization goes together. Race and culture goes together. Race and ancestors goes together. And race consciousness goes together. And everything that is necessary to sustain life to a people, those things and race belong together. And that is the essence of culture. Thank what we mean when we say that self-preservation is the first law of nature. Fahmy Rasul, Enlightenment Lesson 13, The Soul of a Race. Essence is the fundamental, actual, and non-deviating nature of a thing. It's what makes you who you are. Its significance and its significant individual features are what makes you who you are. Therefore, the Fahmy Rasul is saying that all things are crucial, that all these things that I've named, I tried writing them up on the board, but I don't think you can see them that well. But all these things, all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 items, all these things are crucial, are crucially related to the survival of a people and must go hand in hand. So, what is race? What is religion? Who is God? Why does language and culture and civilization go with race? Why does culture go with race? What is culture? The Fahmy Rasul said that the race and ancestors goes together. Race consciousness and soul all go together. What does that mean? We must know, what we must know and understand in order to make this practical and useful is why. Why this is true. Why does everything that is necessary to sustain life to a people and race go together? And why does the Fahmy Rasul say that that is the essence of culture? I wrote this essay after being inspired by a lecture recently delivered entitled The Soul of a Race. That lecture was originally written by High Priest Peter Ra and supervised by the Adept High Sheikh Wabra Samahi. It was presented by Priest Rahotep, and you can find it on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and just look up what's his name? It's Worth Imam Bakar. That site on YouTube.
Yeah. If you put in the title, it'll come up.
Soul of a Race. If you look up Soul of a Race, you ought to be able to find it. Now, the sixth thing that I have on the board, even if you can't see it, it's there, is that race and culture must go together. But I'm going to go with that first, even though it's the sixth. Because to know and understand why all these things belong together, one must know and understand culture. The Webster Dictionary says that as a noun, culture is the arts and other manifestation of human intellectual achievement regarded collectively. Here, the key word is achievement or growth. The second definition as a noun pertains to biology. It states that culture, cultivation of bacteria, tissue cells, etc., in an artificial medium containing nutrients. Here, I'd like to underscore the word nutrients, because nutrients enable growth. Let's also look at culture used as a verb. It says maintain tissue cells, bacteria, etc., in conditions suitable for anything that doesn't have to do with growth or development. True, you can cultivate anything, even a monster. But that doesn't change the meaning of the word, which is to nurture or grow. One of my brothers told me that it meant to dig. Not a wrong answer. Can't give me a wrong answer. But here I ask, for what purpose are you digging? To grow or to allow or facilitate growth and development. The Fahami Rasul said in chapter 9 of the Fahami Gospel that culture means to worship your own Most High God, your own saints, gods and goddesses. He went on to say that culture is education in farming and trade. It is the science of government and power and the knowledge of law and justice. It brings order out of chaos and makes a man fit to be his God. So, if what you as a person or people or as a race are doing does not facilitate growth, then that is not culture. That is the lack of culture. Therefore, culture, as we define it, or use the term, is the bond, the glue, that is necessary for the survival and upward mobility of a people, their growth, development, and maturation. And if you aren't growing, you're doing what? You're decaying. Because the law of nature says that you cannot stand still. Back up to the top. Religion. Race and religion goes together. Actually, race and religion are one and the same thing according to the Fahami Rasul, peace and blessings of the Most High be upon him. So, if your race is who you are, which we'll talk about a little later, and show that, so is your religion who you are. Therefore, if your religion doesn't belong to you, then you may want to reconsider. In the Holy Fahami Gospel, chapter 14, paragraph 29, the Fahami teaches that religion is but the worship of someone's ancestors. Ancestors, who you are. We'll talk about that. Coupled with an ideal about God. So, God is an ideal. The high priest Peter Wright emphasized this time and time again, and he even wrote a book on this subject, The God Ideal. According to the Webster Dictionary, an idea is any conception existing in the mind as a result of mental understanding, awareness, and activity. How could God be anything else but an idea? According to religious teachings, God created man in his own image. What is the image of God that man was created in? Mind. The universal mind and your mind is one and the same quality. The universe, or God, is only greater in quantity or greater in magnitude. Chapter 4 of the Bahami Gospel states that religion is a state of mind, which means condition of your mind, how you think, who you are. The Webster Dictionary says that religion is the belief in, where in your mind is, and worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a personal God or gods. Personal God or gods. How can God or gods be personal if it or they are not your own? Therefore, God is an idea, a personal idea. Belief in and of itself means that it is personal. A personal mental state or state of mind. If you didn't get that, make a note. We can talk about it later. The Fahami Rasul said that religion is but the worship of someone's ancestors. Someone's ancestors. What does religion have to do with worshiping someone's ancestors? That too is personal. Who you believe in or what you believe in corresponds to somebody's, yours or somebody else's, historical lineage. In the Holy Fahami Gospel, chapter 16, paragraph 2 says, the religion of any people is in fact nothing but the history of that people. Let anyone attempt to write the history of the Jews or the Christian nation or any white nations and leave out Constantine, St. Paul, Moses, Richard the Lionhearted, Jesus, or St. John and St. Mary, and you will have no history. Therefore, race and religion is one and the same. Fahami Rasul. The Fahami broke it down further like this. Saying, you cannot separate race from religion without that race losing the national traditions of their and foremothers, who laid down a way of life for their offsprings to survive. Therefore, religion is also a part of the traditions of a race as well as its history, which further demonstrate the inseparability or inseparable relationship between race and religion. Next. Now, we just getting it down. I better speed it up a little bit. Now look at this. According to our teaching, God is an idea, right? Just went over that. Defined in the dictionary in a similar manner as religion. It is described as a superhuman controlling power. The Fahami Rasul said that you and your God are one and the same. That actually means that in reality, they have to go together. How can you be separate from what's in your mind or God?
You do.
Have you ever heard the phrase, you are how you think? There are two parts of you. There is the mental or spiritual, and there is the physical. For your information, it can be broken down even further than that, but that's another class. Let's talk about civilization. According to Webster, it says that civilization is any complex society characterized by urban development, social stratification imposed by a cultural elite, symbolic systems of communication, for example, writing, and a perceived separation from and domination over the natural environment. The Holy Fahami Gospel 12:16 says that civilization means righteousness and power. Power without righteousness is indeed an evil way. Fahami Rasul. So, civilization goes with race. Obviously, how one race defines specific aspects of civilization is not necessarily how another people might, right? So, race and civilization goes together. Why does civilization have to be complex? And why does it have to be characterized by an urban environment? Some would say that this society that we live in, for various reasons, is very uncivilized. If civilization means righteousness and power, and we know that righteousness is the act of being correct, and correctness stimulates growth, and culture means to make a thing upright, and they all go with race, then civilization has to go with race, because they are all what make a race or people civilized. Language. Language is a method of human communication, either spoken or written, consisting of the use of words in a structured and conventional way. It is the system of communication used by a particular community or country. And that's according to the New Oxford Dictionary. I decided to switch up on the dictionaries. The Holy for Honey Gospel, I didn't switch up on that. In the Holy for Honey Gospel, it says in chapter 8, paragraph 12, that your language and your history are the keys to your culture. And let no one tell you differently. It is the only road to self-respect and to get the respect of others. Now that sounds all fine and dandy, right? But the key is why. And the reason is that all things and all conditions are the manifestation of thought. The first form which thought will find is language. This determines the importance of words. Communications is the first manifestation of thought. Words are a vessel in which thought is carried. It is put into the ether, which sets it in motion and reproduces the thoughts to others in the form of sound. All that is another lesson. It'll keep me here all day if I try to explain it all here today. So we're going to pass on that for now. The high priest Peter Rod taught us that the secret of our glorious history is buried in our ancient languages. The Holy Fahami Gospel, chapter 22, paragraph 26 says that language is the bedrock foundation of culture. We must revamp our pre-slavery status. First, the name of our race is Kemite or Kamite. The language of our race is Jaize, or the language of the gods, our national tongue. When the Fahami Rasul calls us anything else, it is for understanding purposes only. Egypt is a Greek term, and Ethiopia is Latin. Thought form makes up words, and a combination of thought forms make up sentences. Therefore, we must understand that words which we speak and the statements we make will manifest. For that reason, words must be put together carefully, because accuracy in the way that we put words together is the pinnacle or the greatest architecture in a civilized world.
I do.
And is the key to success. So race and language goes together. Hang in there for just a little bit longer. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit, okay? I'm going to talk about country. Doesn't look like we're going that fast, but we'll get there. The dictionary defines a country as a territory of a nation. A nation is defined by Webster as a large body of people united by common descent, history, culture, or language inhabiting a particular state or territory. Okay, I can go with that. But the Holy Fahami Gospel says that ... and all nations are geographical, because it is the study of Earth's surfaces, climate, continent, country, people, industry, and products. And that is why all of them think, eat, drink, build, and wear different kinds of clothing. So race and country goes together, because these things define the culture, and a culture and race go together. So let us continue. Ancestors. Ancestors is defined as a person, typically one or more remote than a grandparent, from whom one is descended. In Fahami, we define it as least 1,000 years, according to the high priest Ptah. High Imam Habib Bihar verified that when he explained to me that the last 400 years were current events compared to the over 34,000 years of our glorious past. Our ancestors are who we are, so they must go with race. We already determined that race is who we are. Race consciousness. Now, the word consciousness is defined as a state of being awake and aware of one's surroundings. The awareness or perception of something by a person, and an awareness by the mind of itself and the world. Therefore, race consciousness must mean the awareness or perception of race, awareness of the mind of the race, or of itself, and awareness of the world. Now, Holy Fahami Gospel, you got to go to the gospel, right? My teacher told me, base everything on your own culture. If it does not fit into your culture, then let it alone. He didn't say it didn't have to be true. He just said, what did Rasul say? It's not ours. The Holy Fahami Gospel, chapter 28, paragraph 8 states that this statement, which was made by these gods and goddesses of the Holy Land of Ham, that he put forth his hands, means when a people hear a message of a truth and become self-conscious, they are responsible from then on forever. He either rises by accepting the truth or rejects it and goes back into bondage. Race consciousness is but an extension of self-consciousness. You either know who you are and build on it, or as a race, we shall perish. Race and race consciousness go together. And then there is the soul. The soul, in many religious, philosophical, and mythological traditions, is the incorporeal essence of a living being. That is, the spiritual, the non-material. The soul or psyche are the mental abilities of a living being. Reasoning, feeling, consciousness, memory, perception, thinking, and so forth. In the Holy Fahami Gospel, chapter 3, the 3rd paragraph, it says that this is your identification among gods and men. All are sons and daughters of God, or heaven, regardless of race, creed, color, or place of birth. And the righteous shall dwell in the paradise of God, which is Darul Salam, Alu, and Firdaus, in blessed contentment forever. And words of power are Lalaki Ra, Il, Amun Ra, Fahami, Kim, Ptah, Osar, Isis, Hathor, Ori, and others. Representing one's God and race is better than representing anything else. This is soul salvation with the merciful God, Allah, Fahami Ra, Rasul. So, what does that mean? Soul and race goes together. Now, race as defined in the dictionary, since we were talking about race and how it goes with everything else, we need to really make sure we understand that. Race, as defined in the dictionary, is a categorization of humans, classification of humans into groups based on physical traits, ancestry, or genetics. Therefore, it is a term used to identify people based on who they are. Everything about you. My goal here is to explain to you why God, language, country, civilization, culture, ancestors, race, consciousness, and soul, and why everything that is necessary to sustain life to a people goes together with race. What does all these things have in common? And why do they all go with race? They all point to the mindset or way of reasoning and thinking of a group of people or a race. Any group, their ideals, integrity, needs, and all things necessary to sustain life. Understand, one of my genes, the high Imam, Habib Dahar, taught me and made me understand that there is, in all actuality, but one race. The human race. Everything is about growth, development, and above all, understanding. We are not all required to have the same things as a race to thrive, grow, and develop. And what Imam Kinsu mentioned earlier. We are not all required to have the same things as a race to thrive, grow, and develop, but we must all be properly cultivated in order to prosper or grow collectively. And why does everything that is necessary to sustain life to a people and race belong together? All living things have the capacity to grow and or be developed. Race is who you are, the things that make you as a people unique. Culture, religion, God, civilization, country, ancestry, race, consciousness, and soul go with race because they enable you to grow together, inwardly and outwardly. And that is the fundamental, actual, non-deviating nature, the importance, the significance of, and the essence of culture.
I'm good.
Selah.
Giving is one of the pillars in our religions. We have a mission to fulfill. Our mission is to propagate the teachings of the Muhammad Prophet, Paul Nathaniel Johnson, the Muhammad Rasul. We would do this by making available his teachings in the form of literature, lectures, and other forms of media. We use funds to maintain our website and reprint literature such as the Muhammad Gospel, Change God, the God Ideal, and Enlightenment. In other words, we need funds to grow. Therefore, if you feel the message of the Ra Rasul is worthy of distribution, then give and also tell your friends and especially your family about what we are teaching. Please visit our website at Muhammad.com. The priest is also available to make presentations. Thank you.
Muhammad.
Amen.